Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt with the Movement System. I'm here with Dr. Zaki Afzal. We're both physical therapists and strength coaches, and we're here to talk a little bit about low back pain with cricket batting. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the risk factors that might lead you to having pain with the motion of cricket batting, and we're going to help you problem solve to figure out what's going on and what might help. At the end of the video, we're going to give you 2 drills that will help you improve your hip mobility and improve the mechanics of your batting and your rotation to see if that helps your pain.
So the big thing that we notice with batting as compared to bowling is that batting is much more rotational in nature and a little less linear in nature when it comes to the movement of the entire body. So when it comes to rotation, there's joints in our body that are made more for rotation than other parts, right? If I compare my elbow to my shoulder, my elbow is more of a hinge joint, my shoulder is more of a ball and socket joint. The shoulder is going to be made for rotation. Now, luckily, our spine is made up of multiple segments of bones, and it's not just one long bony rod. So it's made to move, it's made to bend, it's made to flex, extend, all those different directions. But what we want to do is make sure that since batting is a full body motion, that we use all of our rotational capabilities and not just put all the stress in our spine.
Yeah, so the motion of batting is an extreme and it's a fast movement, but that isn't inherently dangerous. And if you've had back pain in the past, or if you're experiencing back pain now, know that there's other cricketers who have been through it, and we've seen other cricketers come through back pain and find a way to resolve that. The typical time course, what would you say on someone who's having an acute flare-up of back pain?
Luckily, if it's not athletic related, then most of the time, between 7 to 14 days, it'll resolve kind of on its own, even if you don't do anything about it. But when it's more athletic related, you have to dive into the athletic movement itself that is causing it, or at least contributing to it somewhat. And then from there, break down those movements and see, hey, why is this stress going down to the low back? At that point, it still could be between the 3 days to 8 weeks mark that you can get that low back pain resolved, depending on how extreme it is and depending on what the workload looks like, what this athlete's nutrition looks like, what does their sleep look like, did they just break up with their girlfriend? There's plenty of things that go into it that matter, and it's not a picture that's so black and white, and if you keep looking for black and white answers, you're always going to feel lost.
Yeah, so it's really important to think about what has this week where you're in pain looked like for you relative to a month ago or 2 months ago. Was there something that changed about your training, your sleep, your nutrition, or just the stress of your life that could be contributing to this as well? And if that's the case, then you might want to think about how you can improve that, or at least address it and understand that might be contributing.
Yeah.
But we're also going to talk about the mechanics of swinging and some things that we commonly see from a movement perspective that we can actually address. Mm-hmm. So it's important to think about both.
So compared to the baseball swing, cricket batting swing has a much lower center of gravity, where our bodies actually pitch forward a little bit more. The bat is resting on the ground rather than up in the air. So that's going to change the batting swing to having a little bit more of a natural upward swing. So when we do that, we're going to change the rotational requirements, not only on the hips, but also on the spine. So when I'm working on more of an upward swing, my back can go into extension more freely than if I'm working on a baseball swing where it's more of a rotational capacity. So we want to make sure the back can extend a good amount. But generally, the power that's driving this bat to move at a fast velocity comes from the hips, it comes from the ground, and not so much how our spine moves. So we have to talk about returning rotation in the hips first, and then working through the ground and opening up the back to take less stress.
So we're going to go ahead and give you guys 2 drills here. This is a good place to get started, but don't think that these 2 drills are specific special exercises that are going to resolve all of your pain. It's just a place to get started. We're also going to give you a link in the description below to 5 key drills to improving your cricket performance. Those are some other drills that you can work on to improve your mobility and your strength as well. And if you're interested, at the end of the video, we're going to talk about our full 12-week program that will really give you a good grasp on your workload and build your capacity and your strength to tolerate the extreme positions of cricket and make you more robust.
Yeah. So the first drill we're going to work on is called the hip airplane. So this, since we want to specify working with the hips, we're going to have Matt actually kneel down on the ground. So with this, I'm going to have his hand on a bench, and we're going to work on one hip at a time. So he's going to be hinged forward a little bit, and he's going to have a hand on the bench just to give a little bit of support, and then he's going to pick that other knee off the ground. So this time he's going to work on his left hip. And then from here, what he wants is we're going to be rotating around the hip. So as he picks up his left hip, he's working more on his right, and as he rotates, he's pushing through his right side to open up his pelvis. It's not so much how much this leg works. It's how far can I get his belly button facing towards me, the opposite direction of the hip that we're working on. That's what we're looking at. And he should feel a strong contraction in his glute to kind of get that hip opened up in that direction. So when we do this, we generally don't want a lot of extension through the back. Matt looks great here. He's keeping it nice and straight. We just want rotation through the knee, through the ground, driving rotation in the hip as far as we can, and then coming back down. And we want to do this for a good amount of reps, but we want to not only build mobility, but control at the same time. So it's not great to run through these. If we give you 10 reps, it's not about getting them done as fast as possible. It's about the quality of the repetition.
The next drill that we're going to work on is going to get some general rotation throughout the entire spine. This is called the open book drill, and we're going to have Zachy lay down here. What he's going to do is lay on his side and then reach that bottom arm out, and then he's going to reach the top arm to those fingertips, and then he's going to open the book to come around. So what you can see here is he's going to keep this knee down close to the ground. He's not going to lift it up to rotate his whole hips. He's going to keep his hips rotated this way, keep the knee down, and then open the chest here. This is going to open the back up here, the thoracic spine, and improve mobility there. The better that we can rotate that thoracic spine, the better that we're going to improve the fluidity of the motion of our batting. So a good place to start with this is about 10 or so opens of the book. So open the book, close the book, about 10 times. Keep this slow and controlled, breathe through it. If we can get a good exhale as we reach nice and long, that'll really help drive that rotation. All right, so give those 2 drills a try. Let us know in the comments if you do have any questions and anything else we can help guide you with. If you want some more resources to help you, you can check out the 5 key drills to improving your cricket performance in the description below, and consider signing up for our full 12-week cricket strength and conditioning program. There's also a link in the description below to the Facebook group, the Cricket Strength and Conditioning group on Facebook, that we encourage you to join. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we will catch you in the next one.